This is Radio Paul, and I am doing a podcast tonight here for YouTube in reference to the Mark Bunker video that he put up today on November 21st, 2009. Mark, I really hope you get a chance to check out this video. In the spirit of free speech and information, would like to correspond with you. I would like to answer some of the things that you put out there. I very much disagree with you on. I also find some similarities and there is some points of agreement. And this is going to continue to be an issue for Anonymous. It's one that's going to grow as the Church of Scientology continues to fracture. You mentioned more or less the overall topic of your podcast was peace with Rathburn and Mike Render and these other folks. I have to ask, a guy who lived in wealth, common ground, what common ground? Help to help Rathburn become a new David Miscavige? He talks about stalking a guy off of a ship and following him to an airport, sitting on a plane next to this guy, and he's smiling with pride as he's rehashing this story. This is not a guy, Mark, who is sorry for what he did to people. If I had done that, or I believe if you had done that, you'd be holding your head down in shame as you were explaining that story. Marty Rathburn tells that story with a smirk on his face. And I got a serious problem with that. You talk about the free zones, people there being able to freely talk. I got news. I've been attacked by free zones for pointing out issues that I have with some of the things that they've said. They do not support free speech any more than the Church of Scientology does, unless you're talking about their freedom to speak out against David Miscavige. Say something against the free zoners. Point out inconsistencies and issues and try to have an honest debate with them and see how long you go before they attack you. Because that's what I've found with the free zoners. They are people, and this is the issue I have with Rathburn, and I've said this before. It's not about what happened to them. It's about what they did to other people, and I'm going to get back to that in just a minute. You made a reference as to try killing off the Church of Scientology and you don't see it happening. That's maybe true. In fact, as long as you can find a group of 10, 15 people willing to fork their life savings over to you, you have a cult. But we do need to try. That's my position. And of course, you said you do what you can only do, and that's true. You can do only what you can do. But I would point out, you do what you feel you must as well. And I do appreciate the fact that you don't feel that Anonymous is your private army, though I would show up to stick a foot up anyone's ass that messed with you, because I think you're a pretty righteous dude. But we are all going to approach this situation from different perspectives. And I think we all have different ideas of what our individual commitments are and what the individual desires for an outcome of the situation are about. And I don't think it's petty, and I don't think you were calling us petty, but you did make a reference to petty arguments, because Marty needs to keep going with his reconciliation. I believe in forgiving. I believe in absolution. But Aaron, the guy in that interview you were mentioning, the 7-part interview, and I agree on one thing absolutely. Marty is out because of what was done to him, not because of what he did to others. And that is the fundamental difference that I see between Marty and a lot of the people that are out of Scientology. It's also what makes me believe that Marty has the potential to become a new David Miscavige. I'm going to help break up one cult so that I can lend support to a guy to start another cult. No, thank you. I have absolutely no interest in doing that. You quoted about the justice in Australia calling the cult evil, but then you talk about coming to terms to a place that Scientologists might even have a place in this world. This is not an attack on you, Mark, but it's not my job to help Marty and the free zoners continue the atrocities that are embedded in Scientology on a whole new generation of people. I don't have to make peace with them. Um, I do feel Marty is a way out for people that cannot go cold turkey, which is why I'm not completely going up his butt over things the same way that I'm not standing out protesting outside his organization or the free zone, because I get that. Um, and I got to say that the Church of Scientology served Marty Rathburn very well for 30 years, living a lavish lifestyle, driving fast cars, having handmade cotton shirts, hand washed, eating dinners that would cost us $100 a plate. No wonder he's not giving up Scientology. It's been very good to him, and I don't mean as in making him a better person. It made him an absolute rotten asshole of a person. He did that to people for 30 years, not for 6 months and said, "This is fucked up. I need to get out of here. How do I actively get out?" Only when he physically was attacked did he seem to have some connection to humanity. I'm not saying that I'm not glad he's out. I think that's great that he's out. I think it's good for him as a person. Um, but I also think he has a lot more he needs to do to step up, and I'm going to say that to him. David Miscavige preaches the tech as it's written. So if DM goes, who will be the thug that takes his place? The Church of Scientology, in my opinion, has got to go down. It is embedded in their tech. It is embedded in their philosophy, this cycle of purging things that they don't like. Disconnection is a part of Scientology. It's a part of the way that they clear themselves from things that pull them down. Well, information can pull them down. I'm totally not up for helping Marty Rathburn and the free zoners. You talk about chipping away at alliances. I've got to ask, what alliances are you talking about? I have no alliances with Marty. I have no alliances with the free zoners. Um, they're the ones that need to be coming to Anonymous and asking for an alliance, not the other way around. The enemy of my enemy is not my friend. I do not pick Mussolini's over Hitler's. You also brought up that Hubbard wrote some noble words, but he didn't live up to them. He also wrote a lot of crazy, whacked out shit, too. Excuse my profanity. You asked if someone could take over Scientology and change it for the better. The answer is no. It is what it is. So, and it would cease to be Scientology. You know, KSW, Keep Scientology Working, if it were to become anything else. It would, in fact, be easier to destroy the cult than to try to restructure it. You'd literally be at war with people over what Hubbard said in 1956 on January 4th and what the interpretation of that was, instead of exposing it as the maniacal cult that it is. You know, Mark, I love you. You are the wise beard man. I throw this out there as a counter discussion out of respect with you, not to attack you. You have an alliance with me. That you're just a great guy, and no one can say otherwise. But you know, there is the other side of the things you're talking about. And you obviously address those issues because you see those issues. I'm just trying to formulate the opposition to some of what you were saying in a way that is as compassionate and to the point as you brought out. So it's with the utmost respect. Thank you.